What's up, guys? Nick Script from Fantrax. Yesterday in the wild card games, I went 3 for 3 with my player props. Here is what I have for you today. Tony Pollard over 60.5 rushing yards. Green Bay allowed the 5th most rushing yards per game this season. Tony Pollard finished with a 70.9 snap share and a 67.9% opportunity share. He's the workhorse guy. Coming off of a 70-yard rushing week, Pollard has hit this over in 7 games this season. 33 rushing attempts across the last 2 weeks is a decent bump for him. If Dallas can control this game, it can also be an emphasis on Pollard. Dak Prescott over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Dak has hit this over in 3 straight games and in 10 of his last 11 games since the bye. Since that Week 7 bye, Dak has averaged 2.73 passing touchdowns per game and has finished 6 games with 3 or 4 passing touchdowns. Although Green Bay has struggled against the run, I don't think that Dallas heads into this game thinking, hey, we are going to win this game on the ground. Aaron Jones over 2.5 receptions. Jones is coming off of a 5-reception game where he played 82% of the snaps, which just to me says he's healthy. In the 6 games, Jones has played above 50% of the snaps. He has hit this over in 4 of them in 6 total times this season. I think with the Packers being the underdog, it's going to emphasize a lot through the air, and Aaron Jones can be utilized that way. Jaden Reed over 50.5 rushing plus receiving yards. He's Green Bay's Deebo Samuel. He's had games of 21, 46, and 38 rushing yards, so he could be utilized in that aspect of the game. Reed is also coming off of 89 and 112 receiving yard games, and he's hit this over in 3 straight games played and hit this over 8 times this season. Reed has had 5 games earning 8 targets this season, which speaks to his role, and I think Love is going to be forced to throw the ball a lot in this game. For the other game this week, I'm going to have Matthew Stafford over 275.5 passing yards. Detroit has allowed the 6th most passing yards per game this season. Stafford has hit this over in 7 games this season and 4 out of 5 of his last games played with everybody healthy. I'm buying all the narratives. I love Stafford overs this week. Kyren Williams over 19.5 rushing attempts. Detroit is tough against the run, but Kyren has finished above this mark in 5 straight games and 7 times through 12 appearances this season. Kyren ranks number 1 in snap share this season and 4th in opportunity share, which just speaks for his role on his team. In the event that the Rams take a lead over Detroit, I think this can emphasize Kyren getting those rushing attempts as well. Demarcus Robinson over 42.5 receiving yards. Detroit has allowed the 6th most passing yards per game this season. The Rams rested most of their starters in Week 18, but in the 5 games prior, Robinson finished with 55, 46, 44, 82, and 92 receiving yards, aka he hit this over in all of those games. Robinson's role has definitely increased in the later parts of the season, and he has actually been producing very well for the Rams. Jared Goff over 258.5 passing yards across the last 5 weeks. Tyrod Taylor, Derek Carr, Lamar Jackson have all hit over 300 yards against the Rams through the air. Goff has thrown for over 300 yards in 5 games this season. He's hit this over 9 times, and he's averaged 268.9 passing yards per game. So his average passing yards per game is above this mark. This game can certainly be through the air, and Goff had the 2nd most passing attempts this season. Jameson Williams over 34.5 receiving yards. JMO has hit this over in his last 3 straight games played and in 5 of his last 7 games. Since the bye week, JMO has played over 50% of the snaps in all 8 games. Across weeks 15 and 16, he earned 13 targets. Williams has finished 4 weeks above 14 yards per reception. He's a big play wide receiver. He can hit this over in just 2 catches. Amon-Ra St. Brown over 87.5 receiving yards. St. Brown has hit this over in 4 straight games with 112, 106, 90, and 144 receiving yards. St. Brown has averaged 94.7 receiving yards per game this season, which is above this metric. 9 games finishing with over 100 receiving yards. Super simple here. I think the studs are going to stud when it comes to the playoffs. And St. Brown has averaged 10.3 targets per game. I think he's going to be above this, which increases his opportunity to hit this over. Let me know in the comments section which of these bets you are riding with.